And it is heads. We want that motherfucker, man. That's why we got the.
You know what we want? We want the ball, and we want you to tune in right now because it is Real Sports here on the Who Are They Real Entertainment Network. I, of course, am your host, Colin Moore, joined by none other than the man, the myth, the legend, the master, Matt Thomas. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. I'm doing good. College football playoff rankings came out. I know we'll talk about those a little bit. And my Cavs, even though we're losing right now, they're still making me proud because somehow when you're missing half of your team, you're still competitive. It's great. So, yeah, it's good.
And, man, what a few weeks it has been since we last touched base with everybody. Woof. I went to the Braves parade in Atlanta. That was wild.
We've been back since then.
We've been back since that. Okay,
yeah.
I got my, I'll don the hat. Make sure everybody knows what's up. Did I come back from the Gamecock game? Yeah, I went to the Gamecock game. Haven't been to one since though. So it sucks. But this week is Clemson, and so it is rivalry week all around college football. Michigan, Ohio State, Clemson, South Carolina, UNC, Duke, Shug, what's poppin'? All the big rivalries are going down this weekend. Last weekend did have UCLA and USC, and I did think that was going to be a bit closer than it ended up being, but UCLA really put the burners on at the end. Matt, there's been so much going on. Let's do a little dartboard catch up. So we got, a bunch of stuff out there. Let's just throw a dart at something. And what's one thing that stuck out to you since the last time we met?
Let's see. The Nets, two things. The Nets seem like they're finally putting it together, and Ohio State looks unstoppable.
Yeah, that was one of the wildest things. We can just go ahead and talk about the Ohio State-Michigan State game for a second because that is what would have set the impression of what?
We'll get there.
And I've never seen anything like what I saw from Strauss and Olave. I mean, that is just some monstrous stuff. I mean, I turned it on and I was like, what? I didn't believe the score. One, because I was so angry that they put it at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. How disrespectful of that game.
It's that game is either always at 12 o'clock or it's a Thursday or Friday, Thursday night game. So
that sounds way better.
Yeah, I know.
It sounds way better, and I just don't feel like enough people watched it, but the rankers did, and that's the important part. So
there was a tweet I saw. You want to know when Ohio State jumped, and we'll talk about this more in a little bit. You want to know when Ohio State jumped Alabama in the rankings? As soon as it was halftime, and the committee saw 49-0.
Yeah, because that was a top 10 team, and I mean, Alabama, as great as they are, have had some moments where they look beatable. I mean, obviously they have lost a game, but obviously there's other things to point out. But Bryce is having one of the all-time seasons for Alabama quarterbacks behind this facade of it being a down year in Tuscaloosa, which, I mean, look, Shug, this is rude. All right. Yeah. And it's not nice to make fun of people on the internet. We talked about this. We're trying to make fun of people on the internet.
I think that's a good thing to bring up a little bit.
But it seems to me that Ohio State is the only team offensively equipped to possibly put a dent in Georgia's defense. But at Georgia, I'm not saying that Ohio State is my favorite until I see what Alabama's offense can do to Georgia in the SEC championship game, and then I reserve the right to change then. Because if those receivers at Alabama can put a dent into Georgia's offense, I know for damn sure that the Ohio State receivers get over the top.
I mean, just remember they needed our fourth string receiver just to have a top receiver at Alabama. So
we also need to break down at some point the offensive lines because they're stouts. for on all three fronts, regardless. You're going to see those three teams. That's why I'm worried about Cincinnati. I'm so worried about Cincinnati, man. Like, it's just going to be what's that poor quarterback's name? I appreciate it, Chuck. I appreciate it.
That's Ryder, isn't it?
Yeah. He's been there for 5 years. That poor dude is going to wait 5 years to get assaulted by one of the greatest defensive lines in the history of college football from Georgia on national television on New Year's Eve. And it's going to be a whacking.
Big loss.
52-17. And the 17 points come in like the last 9 minutes of the game.
It's going to be a rough one.
But that Ohio State-Alabama game, if things hold true, actually...
It's impossible for that to happen. I shouldn't say it's
actually
impossible. No, actually, it's tough because at the end of the day, Ohio State is going to have more ranked wins than Alabama.
Right. Unless they beat Georgia.
See, even if they beat Georgia, Ohio State ends up having more ranked wins. I was looking at the schedule because we have Michigan.
They would hop Ohio State though in that situation.
Would they though? With Ohio State having
you would have to show me a Big Ten championship game
back to back.
It would depend on how they beat.
Yeah, I was about to say back to back top 5 wins and then the Big Ten championship. It'd be hard to.
Also, we're gonna have to go back and look at who Michigan State beat and then who all the people they beat lost to.
And then
we're gonna have to triple dissect Michigan State
and Michigan.
Yeah, damn sure. We're going to have to double check all this because if it's some suspect stuff, we're going to have to watch out because, I mean, this is one year where transfers and everything going on, that is a stout Georgia-Bama front that I would not want to see after they get, 2.5, 3 weeks to watch tape of you.
I mean,
I just feel, and then at the end of the day, it comes down to Kirby Smart and Nick Saban over, what's that guy's name again?
Ryan Day.
Thank you. Brian Gay is a golfer on the PGA Tour, and that's what popped into my head, and I was like, that's not right. Okay, I am going to throw a dart at the Golden State Warriors. The now 15-2 Golden State Warriors pulling all of the tricks out of the bag and playing some of the best team basketball I've seen a team play in terms of making the most out of what they may or may not have. And it reminds me of the 2014-15 Warriors. And you got guys like Gary Payton taking on that like Leandro Barbosa role. Kuminga later in the season, I feel can be a Sean Livingston type guy that's kind of like a game breaker and can just get a change of pace in the lineup. And then, I mean, you got Wiseman, it's like I go back to that team and I'm like, Festus Ezeli. And I'm like, well, Festus was great, but I'm not going to put James Wiseman in the same sentence as Festus Ezeli.
You can't.
James Wiseman's sake of being nice to James Wiseman. I mean, to me, Klay Thompson fully practiced today. News.
Yes.
Was full participant in practice. No timetable is set, but Christmas is not off the table. Sources are telling NBC.
I heard before Christmas was possible.
It's possible. So, they're being very, very tiptoey about it. But Jackie Moon is coming for the NBA. Klay has taken on the Jackie Moon headband, and he is ready to take the topics all the way to the NBA Finals. And this, to me, is going to be one of the this is going to be a defining moment for this franchise because if he can't come back and be himself, I mean, it's a hell of a year, but it's gonna be, eventually this team's gonna have to play in February. February is you're kind of trudging your heels, you're trying to get to the All-Star break, you're 2 weeks before the All-Star break, you're like, just get me there. It's gonna be hard for this team to not get a good Wiseman and a great Clay back and really be able to consistently pressure the top teams in the West, because the West is kind of weird right now. I don't really know what to make of the West. The Lakers suck. The Clippers are good.
I don't know how much longer.
Huh?
I don't know how much longer the Lakers are gonna suck though.
I mean, it's true, but if they were gonna win, they lost to the Knicks tonight, 106-100. And it's kind of like those guys had a moment, and if there was a switch that would have been an even bigger switch, would have been the team taking it on their shoulders for Braun and taking it to them tonight in MSG.
I think it's just gonna. We're only in November, so
a smaller switch is being flipped, though. I acknowledge the switch has been flipped, and there is the possibility of beast mode has been clicked on. I acknowledge that.
Yes.
Was it too soon though? Or has LeBron James constantly been in beast mode because Skip Bayless tags him in every Instagram post when he wakes up at 2:30 in the morning?
Man, Skip Bayless is like that ex-girlfriend who wants your attention and is mad because you won't give it to her.
Jason Concepcion calls Skip Bayless a lizard man.
He's not wrong. But, I mean, I do want to shout out Shug because our boy got to go to his first ever NFL game this past weekend.
Congratulations, Shug. That has to be an exhilarating experience. I've only been to a preseason game, and it was not the Ravens. I went to a Ravens practice where Justin Tucker did win the starting job over Billy Cundiff because Billy Cundiff was cut the next day. And I watched that, which I've always taken. I was like, oh, that's cool. That was fun. I realized I watched him hit a 70-yarder in practice, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this was different. That was weird." But hopefully, I can get to one soon.
I mean,
I got a lot of shit going.
Yeah, no,
well, work's great, but it takes up
it's right in the dead of your favorite time of the year.
Yeah,
that's what the issue is. It's dead in your favorite time of the year.
Well, we can talk about the NBA later, but there has been something spreading through the NBA, and I've got a little taste of it because, in my opinion, Matt, basketball is better when two teams are successful and more people are involved: the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks. And right now, those two teams, Los Angeles Lakers.
I was about to say three.
And now I think the Golden State Warriors kind of like grew a fourth. Now they're like the second West Coast team, as there's two, more Eastern teams. But here's a little taste of what's been going on in the city of New York.
We got Byron's Car Wash live from Coney Island. Are you vaccinated? Yes, sir.
I was feeling thirsty. Your mom gave me a gallon of Henny to quench that, you heard?
It's no snow on the floor. He's really skiing to Coney Island on a hard top. What we doing, Coney Island, Colette? Real, son. We keep it real.
Fuck your life. Bing bang.
He had too many shots.
Bing bang has taken
God.
over the NBA world. It has just spread. You can hear it in away stadiums. It echoes. It booms. Bing bang is everywhere. It even made it to Mike Breen on a national broadcast. Granted, he was the former MSG play-by-play guy, so I mean, he is a Knicks fan at heart. And at the end of the day, it's just nice to see New York excited about basketball again. These crazy drunken millennials and Gen Xers are pouring out of MSG, and they are just having a blast. And it's great. This is just so much fun. And they got great players that are great, just great people to watch. Like watching Derrick Rose do his thing right now is awesome. He's shooting the highest 3-point percentage of his whole career. That's insane. And he's a 2-time MVP.
One time.
Sorry. Should have been 2-time.
Should have been 0-time.
Should have been 2-time.
Should have been 0-time.
Should have been 2-time, bro. Best player doesn't mean MVP.
Everyone admits statistically and everything LeBron had a better year and that it was burnout that year.
But you didn't hear what I said. I said best player doesn't mean you're the MVP.
Voter fatigue.
You voted for Jeff Teague.
No, voter fatigue. LeBron had
I thought you said I voted
No,
for
no.
Teague, and I was like,
Voter
you voted
fatigue.
for Atlanta Hawks, Jeff Teague. Good on
No.
you, bro.
voter
But,
fatigue and the fact that it was the season that his first season in Miami, so people were still pissed about how he did Cleveland.
And also, I love how family centered they are. All those guys have like kids around, just walking age to like kindergarten, and they're all out there at shoot around. It's just like this league went from like it was so strange, and like now, like I just think Jason Tatum's a kid, and his kid's standing there with him at the national anthem like every single game
Yep.
on the court, and like this is just like now a thing. I just think the NBA is kind of like, I know a lot of people choose to not watch the NBA
Because they're fools.
but that's on them. And you just choose not to watch the NBA. They're like, oh, it's not basketball, it's not whatever. But it's like, you know what? If you sit down and watch football, you sit there and yell at the damn TV because the rules suck and they're taunting and all that. The taunting rules changed and all that stuff. It's just shut up. And I got friends that are like, they don't watch basketball until May. I'm like, okay. They watch March Madness and then they start watching the NBA because they're like, oh, I like watching basketball. But hey, I'm here in November. Watched all but one Warriors game. If I missed one, it was due to work. So, I mean, like, these Dubs are out here doing their thing, and your Cavs are out there doing their thing with, sometimes losing, like, necessary appendages. Like,
patchwork team, but somehow still being competitive. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird feeling because I sit here and I'm like, last year that's a 50-point blowout.
That was a great game.
That Nets game last night.
No, yeah.
That in the past years, that's 20+ point.
Yeah, but if Kyrie's on that team, though, it's a little different.
If Kyrie's on that team, it's fifth. But at the same time, if Evan Mobley's on that team, what is it? Because of what he brings to the defensive side. That's why I say, because when you look at
it just depends on who he would have been guarding. Would he have been guarding KD? Because then he would have gotten torched.
I don't know if what I mean by that is you can go back and watch tape of a couple more recent games and let's say the Knicks game or that Celtics game where the Cavs had that amazing comeback. What you see, how different their defense is when you have Mobley and Allen on the field or on the court, and how much more smoothly it runs and how much more defensive centric it is. All that. That's why I say that, because they're not getting, no one's getting clean paints in the look and clean looks in the paint.
Which night was the comeback? The Celtics?
Yes, first of the two back-to-back Celtics games. Was the first one. We were down 19 in the fourth, and we came back and won it. Like, Jeremy Miller says it's similar with the MLB. Most casual fans don't watch until playoff time.
Yeah,
I think
I turn on Braves radio if I'm driving home from work. I mean, I drive home like usually right around times the Braves games are ending, so I usually listen to the end of Braves games when I'm driving home, just because I'm local. I mean, I'm not in Atlanta, I'm in South Carolina, but like we still get the stations. And I mean, yeah, and I mean, I'll watch them when I can. And if I'm sitting around at the house and they're playing a breakfast game, a little 12 o'clock first pitch, I'll turn it on. But yeah, I mean, usually because there's a lot of other stuff going on in the summertime, like NBA's going on, NBA finals. I only got so many TVs.
I mean, but also it seems like people don't care about baseball as much, especially with our generation, because it's. And this is just me saying this because attendance is down throughout the league. People are younger generations and our generation, it feels like, are just getting bored with it and tending to more so lean towards these fast-paced sports, the basketballs, the footballs, even though football can be slow at times. Big play sports, the exciting sports.
Sports with TikTok size.
Yeah, Burrow says baseball is America's pastime. It's just too long a season. Well, and yeah, it's America's pastime. But you want to know the key to the word's pastime? It says past. Baseball is the one sport that hasn't evolved, and I think that's part of the issue, because in all these other leagues you have caps and whatnot, that can help limit teams and try to balance out the league. You don't get that in baseball. There's no hard cap. There's no soft cap. It's we can pay you whatever we want, and Lord knows how much we're gonna pay a guy. But hey, we want the title. That's what baseball is.
I can only find this one Cavs game.
Which one? What are you on right now?
I'm lost. I'm on YouTube. Just feels like it's the same game. Like they uploaded the same clip by accident.
It's possible. I think the second.
Oh no, I see it. At the. Yeah. They get off to a 16. Yeah. I found 19 at the 2:40 left in the third. Yeah, down 19.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
And
damn, that was harder than it should have been. Sorry.
Yeah, defense turned up and Mobley Bro, I know we talk about it, and since we're talking about NBA a little bit right now, I might as well throw out the rookie report card. My boy Evan Mobley's injured. It hurts. It hurts so bad.
Gotta start putting Kuminga on there. Gonna need you to add Kuminga next time.
I know.
He's looking good.
But it hurts. Mobley's injured, but it gives, I guess, Scotty Barnes a chance to help take back that number one spot. Cade Cunningham had a triple-double the other day. So the rookie's got a lot going for him. Yeah, the rookie class has a lot going for him. Point blank. No other way to say it. They got a lot going for them.
They doing all right.
They doing more than all right. But I still think the Cavs got the best rookie in the class. That's just me. He Colin, I know we talked about this last time. He's way far ahead than any of us expected, because none of us expected him to be hitting 3-pointers consistently at like he started doing it.
No,
we were like, maybe 2-3 years. Nope. Just
it was like that when Zion came back from like being hurt in the first game and he knocked down all those threes, and everybody was like, yeah, because he just stood there and shot for 6 fucking months,
and then that shot disappeared.
Yeah, and now it's gone. Yeah, of course, because he can't do that. His body doesn't work like that.
His body don't work like that.
Okay, so to wrap up the NBA, rookie at the end of the rookie report, we need to talk about Kuminga and the way that he's been able to, like, in these games, the Warriors are blowing people out without Steph Curry on the court. I think that's the important part. Poole and Wiggins are stepping up and playing veteran minutes. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins is a veteran. He's been in the league for 8 years now, which to me is so weird. Feels like yesterday. 2013 draft, bro.
This is his 8th year because it's LeBron's 4th year with the Lakers. So yeah, this is the 8th year. You want to know what else is weird? And we'll talk about LeBron. For some reason, has found himself tweeting about the Cavs lately. I'm kidding. You know. Just saying.
You know, put your finger on your lips. You know, sometimes you just gotta put your finger on your lips. There was a girl's video that went viral today that was like responding to Will Smith saying that he had so much sex that he vomits when he orgasms.
Oh,
and she was like, "Will, I didn't need to know that. Like, no one asked. Like, I don't know what would have spawned that response, but you know what? Keep your finger on your lip, mate, you know?" And I was like, I've never heard that before. And now I'm like, keep your finger on your lip, mate. Like, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just putting
make
that.
The trade, though. Make the trade. Give me a trade. Would you give up Evan Mobley for LeBron to come home?
LeBron is actually has the ability to become a free agent after the I think it's the 2023 season.
Yeah, dude, but you guys with LeBron could win the East this year. Like, you would win the East.
I think if we trade our first round pick for Cam Reddish, we could win the East this year.
Yeah, Cam Reddish is a baller. You have my full support with all of them. I have a lot of stock in him, dude.
You want to know what's funny? This offseason, they're like, we're not sure we'll trade. We should trade a first for him. I'm sitting here, I'm like, trade the damn first now. But you want to talk about
yeah?
and the Palace 1.5?
So I am going to pull up.
I have it up. I have.
Oh, you have it. Go ahead.
I have it.
Sir.
Let's play it.
Comes Wayne Ellington.
Colin, let's unmute ourselves.
Oh yeah. Welcome to the commentary of one of the greatest fights to never happen in NBA history. Okay. Oh no! See how he looks at him? Okay. Pause the video.
Tonight it's their number one guy.
I can't pause it, but this is just because it's uploaded.
And LeBron. Stewart is hot, and everybody's coming on.
Bro, like.
Now this is ridiculous.
Like,
yeah, he must have caught an elbow or something, but
oh yeah, he's got a lot of blood streaming from the side of the eye. Look, here goes Stewart.
Okay, this is kind of where it amped up a level of like, hold up.
Oh God.
This is where
I love how like to back him onto the floor.
yeah, I think he's a little upset.
Because the PA announcer is the same dude that had to deal with the mouse at the Palace. He's like, I'm not dealing with this again.
No, Buck, you have not missed NFL talk. We have not even gotten there yet.
And there's Cade Cunningham also.
How are the Pistons always involved?
It was along the free throw
because they're
line,
bad
the free
boys.
throw, and he's still trying to get loose.
Okay, all right. Here's where
this
it jumped
is
up.
really
Someone had to say some shit.
Look at Russell post up. Russell was posting up, ready to go real
He's running through the line.
Russ would have gotten smacked because I learned that Isaiah Stewart's first love was boxing.
That's crazy.
Someone would have gotten put on the ground. Apparently he's got a mean jab.
And that was the start of a 15-minute delay. And counting.
15-minute delay and counting. And like this doesn't even this video doesn't even show the back half where they had to pull Isaiah Stewart into the tunnel and then he breaks free and tries to start running around the under arena.
Side, right?
Yep. And they're like they put security over there right now, make sure it doesn't happen because it's happened in the past, this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, wow, like
honestly, yes, Jeff. Holy shit! Did basketball just get cool? Yes. If you're a non-basketball fan, welcome, because we can just talk about it now again, but. Yes, that dude is about that fucking life. He's ready to square up. He is like, his high school graduation quote was, "You don't want these hands," and I think LeBron and here's where, like, if you run the video back, I really don't like the way LeBron looks at him when he's in the midst of the elbow being swung
get ready to unmute
at him.
I'll pull it up.
Comes Wayne Ellington.
Colin, unmute yourself. There we go.
Isaiah does get a bit
a lot of points to
chippy right
stars recently.
They are locked up.
And then we saw Zach LaVine light him up, then Giannis,
right there.
And then Jason
but he
Tatum.
does put his hand out
like
their number one guy, Jeremy Grant.
And that's where I think a lot of, like, I know some people are like, oh no, he didn't. I'm like, I think he was purposely throwing like an elbow in the I'm trying to get free motion, but I don't think he meant for his nail, because you see like the nail, his hands and fingernails hit his face, and I don't think he meant that. Do I think he meant to throw a bow to kind of get free? Yes. But I don't think it was intentional to like give him a bow to the face. You know what I mean? Like, because Colin, you've played basketball. So you're jockeying for position. Elbows and forearms get thrown all the time.
Okay, so like this guy is, you know, he grew up playing soccer, he's a boxer, and then he started playing basketball. 20 years old. I'm being completely honest. If you started up playing soccer and boxing, LeBron James is probably not your idol. And I think from what I remember of his draft, of his scouting and stuff, one of the things that people were worried about of him coming out of Washington in 2020 was his lack of like love of basketball
Yeah.
and how he was like more interested in other stuff. And he was always at others, it's just that little kind of stuff. But all this to say, he didn't give a fuck who LeBron James is.
Mhm.
And I think that was the main point of why that escalated so quickly. And he took it immediately. He had that reaction. It didn't leave. And it escalated from a 9 to a 12 to a 17 to a 38.
Yeah.
Like very fast. Like dudes don't be running around
A
the
tunnel.
the tunnels of stadiums unless it's like game time and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Like you usually running the other way. Like that to me was just something I hadn't seen. Yeah, Jeremy, totally right. It happened in the 90s a lot, and 80s as well. I mean, that was Bad Boy Pistons were the 80s. I mean, they had dudes. I mean, they had the Jordan rules. They put Michael Jordan on the ground just for coming into the paint. So you don't go left, send him right. So I mean, it was just a whole thing back then that now we've definitely calmed down on, where you got dudes like Steph Curry creating space, like anything in the world. Like it's just impossible now to, you had guys like James Harden are going to not be scoring champs this year because they had to take 3 weeks to adjust to the new fouls that were not getting called, or the old fouls that were not getting called anymore. So, I mean, he was going like, he averaged like 16 points first 3 weeks of the season. People look around like, what the hell?
I think Dame is still struggling on.
Yeah, Dame doesn't know what to do.
Mhm.
Dame can't find a shot. He like, it just sucks because he gets most of his space in the later stages of games because he is so physical in the paint in the first half and in those first stages of the third quarter. So they do step back and create more of that space, create that space, and then he just starts bopping it in.
Dame is only shooting 39% from the field goal, and he's shooting 29% from three. Averaging 21.6 points, 4 boards, and 8 assists.
8 assists is fine. How many
8
points?
assists, 21.6.
And that's fine. I mean,
it's not like it's JR only putting up 15. It was 18 at one point.
It was 18. Okay, so there we are. He has brought it up. Any final thoughts? Okay, so let's touch on the suspensions. Isaiah Stewart gets 2. LeBron gets 1. I think that's fine. He escalated it. He took it to a different level, and LeBron saved himself by stepping away when he did and kind of making Isaiah Stewart look way worse. I thought Isaiah was going to get 5. To be complete, my projection was 5 and 2. So a difference of 3, a difference of 1, very strange to me. Just in terms of like how LeBron sold it, because LeBron did the very smart thing of not getting involved and stepped away and let the team take the blunt of the blow. And we're still trying to figure out how Russell Westbrook got a technical.
Because he tried to post up. I swear
Russ said that in his post-game press conference. He said, I'm still trying to figure out how I got a technical just for trying to stand up for my guy. Like, he's like, what am I supposed to do? Just stand there? That's how that's how Kevin Love almost got traded from the Cavs.
Let's be honest though. This isn't the first time Isaiah Stewart has done this. He did.
No, that's what I'm saying. This dude's ready to go.
He might cause some issues for himself in the league because you got in Blake Griffin's grill a couple weeks back. Now you're doing it with Bron. Like kid needs to calm down a little bit. I know it gets heated, but damn.
But I think at the end of the day, it brought more attention to the league, and the league kind of needed it. So,
especially because it's not playoffs.
Not that Steph Curry's not doing a great job, because I think the Warriors not being good for 2 years definitely took the entire San Francisco Bay Area out. of watching any of the primetime games because it was usually against teams we were going to get throttled. So now I'm just happy they're good. Just, obviously it makes me happy that they're good, but just better for basketball now than join that later. All right, on to the NFL. Holy crap. Yes, Buck. Go Suns. 13-game win streak, Suns. 13-game win streak. Not going to sleep on that. Sorry.
Desperately needed that.
13-game win streak. Chris Paul's on his bullshit again, and he's just racking up double-doubles, some triple-doubles, and it's like he's nuts.
They needed that. It was much needed.
I expect DeAndre Ayton is going to step up in December and January and push for all-star consideration.
Maybe.
I
expect Robert Sarver to no longer be an owner.
Oh, yeah, that too. Fuck that guy. All right. On to the NFL, and let's also keep Buck involved here. On to the Suns, who have somehow pulled off 2 victories without
You mean
Kyler
Cardinals?
Murray. Sorry, Cardinals. My bad. The Cardinals are 9-2, and without Kyler Murray, and it's just been one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in the NFL. It honestly reminds me of the Matt Castle Patriots, where he was just more than good, and that's all they needed him to be. And there's just enough playmakers on this team, even without DeAndre
I
Hopkins.
was about to say the key point you're also forgetting is they don't have D-Hop either. They're number 1.
Say it like you mean it, Buck. Say it like them boys in Texas used to say back when he was with the Longhorns. Colt Mother effing McCoy.
How Cleveland Browns said it for a season.
He also got Connor Shaw. God bless him. Never forget him.
You won't. Everybody else has.
Not the guy with the jersey. The guy with the jersey. He knows. On to your Browns.
Man.
The Browns report.
This isn't really the Browns report, honestly. This is the AFC is just wide open. 12 of the 15 teams in the AFC are 500 or better. There's only 2 teams that realistically have 3 teams that have a real winning record. That is your Ravens. That is the Titans, which everybody thinks they're about to fall off a cliff because
I don't think they are, but continue.
I say that because
I know.
What's his name is out.
Derrick
Henry, and they can't seem to find AJ Brown. Julio Jones is meh. He's on the IR right now. Yes, he's helped my fantasy team also. But yeah, there's a lot going on there. But other than that, it's either you're 6-5 or 5-4, or in the Steelers' case, 5-4-1 should be 5-5. But yeah, dude, this just the AFC is just insane. The next week is this Sunday night's gonna be interesting. Colin and I may have to go live Sunday night.
I will still be in New Jersey at a wedding.
I thought the wedding was on Saturday.
Yeah, but I'm not just going on Friday and coming back on Sunday.
I know so many people that do that. So
no, we're leaving on Monday morning.
Fair.
And then I have a double header Tuesday night.
Yeah. But it's one of those things like the Ravens have Chris and I were talking the other day. I don't think there is a clear-cut best team in the AFC. I think there are arguably 2 best coached teams, and that is the Ravens and the Patriots.
That's going to be the AFC Championship game.
As of right now, it looks like it.
It's terrifying because Matthew Judon will come in and he will be ready to raise hell.
Yeah.
And I am terrified. I have nightmares. Or I will.
But in the NFC, it's clear that Jerry Miller says AFC needs to pick it up. They have an opportunity.
No, tell the Bills to pick it up. Don't give it to us. Tell the team that was in the AFC Championship game last year to handle a rookie quarterback and get the fucking job done.
Yeah, the Bills. Everybody's been shitting on Baker Mayfield, but let's be honest, Josh Allen hasn't looked much better. He might have a couple more touchdowns, but otherwise, that's it. So,
I think.
I think the Bucks are starting to feel the hangover.
Yeah, I mean, cool. You beat the Giants 30-10. Like, cool. Yeah, just because you're a good QB in fantasy. That was from when they were number one in the AFC, and now they've fallen off completely over the last 2 weeks. 1 week is an anomaly. 2 weeks is a trend.
Mm-hmm. And
That's football.
It was to your Dolphins, and then they lost. They lost to the Jaguars at some point this year. It's just
AFC easy. Let's go. No, don't correct yourself. The AFC easy. Yes.
But
been that way for 20 years.
The Rams, Buck, I agree with you. And that's what I just said. The Cardinals are clearly the best NFC team. But the Rams are about to suffer from the OBJ-itis. That's where you try to force him the ball and it causes turnovers because he doesn't like to run the right routes. So I'm not too worried about the Rams anymore. As much as I'd like to see Matthew Stafford win, all that was negated by Odell Beckham joining.
Tom Brady is always hungry for a win in the ring. That's why he's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady just needs to make the playoffs.
Tom can find motivation in a fucking Nick Jr. cartoon.
Tom Brady, we're in the playoffs. All right, we're gonna win it. That's Tom Brady.
He's good.
Oh, we made the playoffs. Cool. I got you.
Yeah, I bet you do, Buck.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Ravens. What the fuck happened on Sunday? Holy shit! Was that even real? Like Tyler Huntley?
And there's a chance Tyler Huntley is starting on Sunday too.
It's fine. Because do you know what the difference is? You know what the difference is between us and other teams? And this was the huge thing about why they were like, oh, Trace McSorley. Yeah, we got to sign another QB. But you know what's a pain in the ass? Having to completely switch the fucking offense. And now Tyler was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to run like Lamar. Oh, look at that hole. These holes are the same size. I can run through these holes.
Funny enough, you mentioned Trace McSorley because I think this is very telling. The Cardinals signed him to their active roster.
Oh, yeah. I think Kyler, this is bad.
Kyler is out at least another 2 weeks.
At least.
Like
at least I got Cam Newton in the fantasy league where I had Kyler.
Yeah.
And let's take a moment to talk about Cam Newton coming home. And boy, did I have so many friends this week that busted out those number 1 jerseys down here, baby. They had them they had dust on them. They were like, honey, where's my super suit? Where's my super suit? And he came out to I'm coming home. Like, what else do you need? Like, and damn it, he lost the game.
It was close, though.
It was close. But you were playing the Washington football team with no Chase Young. And their offensive line in Carolina does not suck. It's actually a pretty, 13 to 16 on Pro Football Focus ranked offensive line. And Cam came out of the tunnel and said, this is my fucking team. I'm like, Sam Darnold is right there. Like, he's right there on this. He's now in the tunnel or he's on the side, whatever. Like, watching this happen on the Jumbotron, this cannot be fun. Yeah. The defense for the Panthers is
their offensive line.
It's definitely the inability, the lack of pass rush. I would say the lack of pass rush and the ability to put pressure on freaking Heineke. I mean, come on, Taylor Heineke ain't no Aaron Rodgers. Or he's not going to be able to even move that well. You just got to get some pressure on the guy. And they couldn't. Scary Terry had a great day. Seems like this football team can win a game when they need to, and especially on the road in an environment like that where tickets is on SeatGeek, we're at an all-time high. Yeah. Cam's first game back. You couldn't even – it was huge. It was on the local news down here all week. It was crazy. Cam's back. It's wild. We love Cam down here, and I hated Cam when he was at Auburn, but the second he went to the Panthers, I was like,
all right, I can ride with
bring
this.
that energy over here. These people
can ride
deserve
with
it because they
this.
had Jake Delhomme for 8 years.
We had him for a year, and I wish it was less.
Well, yes, he does have some wheels, indeed. And he does also sell hats for like $499.
I was like, DC, like, oh yeah, we partnered
DC hats.
with
Yeah.
I was like, oh, let me see. And then I'm like,
I clicked the link.
$500 hat.
Scan the QR code. I was like, what? Well, who do you think is
$500 for a hat?
Kendall Roy from Succession? Like, ain't nobody got the money for that.
Right, though.
$499? Good night, Irene. You can keep that.
Oh, just no.
You can cut it out with that. All right. Look, we talked about the AFC. Chiefs are turning it around. And this is not, I mean, Pat Mahomes is still, leading the AFC in touchdown passes.
And interceptions. No,
right. But I mean, that trend is changing. Those were from four. How many of them were in the, let me go game by game. Ad lib.
What do you mean big baller brand slide sold?
Okay. Opener versus the Browns, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns. Ravens, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Chargers, 3-2. Eagles 5-1. Bills 2-2. Washington 2-2. Titans 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. But the last 3 games, 1 touchdown versus the Packers, 0 interceptions. 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions versus the Raiders. I think the Raiders are just a bad team.
Yeah,
and Cowboys get 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, but he did bring the yardage back up to 260. Yeah. So, and also,
I'm not gonna say he's necessarily turning it around yet.
The Cowboys defense is just good. We just have to say it. I think that the second best defense in football in terms of talent and coaching. I don't know what is going on over there, but we know what's going on over there. We watched Hard Knocks. I mean, that team had a culture built over there with Micah Parsons coming in there, and then Trayvon Diggs.
That's my dad.
That's my dad. Like that's like now, and like every time Trayvon Diggs does well, I know that his son is so happy, and that makes me happy. And like I'm rooting for I got Zeke in our league. And I had Zeke in another league. I was able to rebust out the Zeke Funko Pop and add him back to the wall. It was a proud day. And now Zeke is,
See, Jeremy,
I think you can eat on him heavy on Thanksgiving. I think Zeke can eat on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Jeremy, I'm with you there. I'm not sold on the Chiefs yet. Like everyone's still in the game. Even the Raiders are the Raiders. So
also getting healthy.
But yeah, they are getting healthy. But I still don't completely trust that right side of the line. So that's my big question mark there.
All right. And as we wrap up the NFL, wait, hold on. I am bringing up a image for us to take a look at the Thanksgiving Day schedule because it is Thanksgiving.
Reef, that is a great way to spend it.
Yeah, I have been told to go watch football with my dad as Guyane and our visiting friend Dominica cook some fixins at our place. And I will happily sit here and watch Chicago and Detroit at 12:30. Matt, what you got on that?
I'll probably skip football this year because these are some bunk games.
I see. I'm gonna be putting some parlays down, so I think it would be fun if you and I built a little money line parlay to run along with the day, and then you can have some interest. You don't have to watch it, but you can follow it and be leaning a certain way. Okay. Hold on. I have to click crosswalks real quick to verify that I'm in here.
Buck thinks he only needs a QB for a week.
Wait, what?
But Buck and I are having negotiations in fantasy, and he's like, "I only need a QB for a week." Hey, Buck, I know you're watching. You need a QB for more than a week. I'm just saying, you're gonna need one for at least 2 to 3 more because you don't sign Trace McSorley to make Trace McSorley to the active roster.
Hey, look, bro, that guy sacrificed an ACL so Lamar Jackson could take a shit. All right. Like, let's never forget what that man did for the Ravens. He gets more respect from Ravens fans than any backup quarterback.
You know what's funny? I wanted the Browns to take him late or sign him as an undrafted free agent because I thought he'd be like stylistically a good backup for Baker.
So I have the Bears 3-point favorites on the road.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Cowboys 7-point favorites at home.
Yeah.
Saints 6-point underdogs at home to the Bills.
But keep telling yourself that. That's not the only reason he was signed.
No, yeah, like Trace McSorley is totally expendable. That's why I was fine with it because he doesn't. If he comes in, the offense totally changes, and we're not ready for that, and it disrupts flow. Totally messes with practice. It's not fun. And you running with the Bills? Is that what you said?
I don't know. I don't know if I could trust him. That might have to be a Saints one. I think the Saints take it.
Yeah, I think the Saints take it too. Well, is there anything else out there, Matt?
I just want to say, because I didn't get to touch on it, I'm going to call it right here. College football final rankings are going to be Georgia, Ohio State, Cincinnati, Notre Dame. Those will be the top 4 after championship week. We're going to have the Battle of Ohio, where Cincinnati is going to get whooped on like the little brother that they are, and Luke Fickell is going to wish he never left Ohio State. So there's that. Granted, he left Ohio State because Urban Meyer basically handpicked Ryan Day to take over for this. Oh, yeah, that wild deal. We didn't even talk about that wild deal.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham wants a fucking phone call. I'll never forget that.
You mean how they tried?
You're gonna pay me as a wide receiver? You're gonna
use me as a wide receiver. You better pay me as a wide receiver.
Saints. It's the same fucking team.
Yep.
And they gave him a hybrid deal.
Yep.
Jimmy Graham is owed money. He is owed money. Pay this man his money. Pay the man his money. He's earned it.
But who cares? You're your own man.
Dude, if you ever root for Georgia, you are not. Nah, bro. Trash. Those dogs. I will root for Ohio State.
Colin will message me. Here's my address. Send me down.
Oh God! Send me the Terrell Pryor jersey immediately that I know is in your closet.
Well, I got a number 2 jersey, but I got a couple number 2 jerseys because too many Ohio State players have worn number 2.
He's my favorite
J.K. Dobbins
quarterback ever because
he's not telling you to. He's just saying it's an SEC rival. He can't respect you rooting for Georgia.
This is a stupid joke. It's in our name. We're not the only school named it.
Right.
And you're not going to root for something that you have. You don't like to say, I get to wake up every Saturday and say, I get to rock out with my Gamecock out. All right. I get to wake up every day and put a t-shirt on that says Cox, and people know that I'm rooting for a football team and I'm not Archer going down to Miami for a mission to honeypot somebody. All right. It's nice. And it's damn, it feels good to be a Gamecock because we beat the shit out of Florida, and then we beat Auburn, and it was awesome on Saturday night. Woo! We got Clemson this Saturday. They're coming to town. They are 11.5-point favorites, and tickets are no Colin, no lame. Okay, dude, whatever.
No, Buck, you're wrong.
You're what?
Buck, who's your college team?
Oh, right.
You don't have one.
Oh, sorry, couldn't hear you over Georgia probably getting trounced by Alabama in the SEC championship game. Now I'm officially an Alabama fan in the SEC championship game. But Buck, you have turned me against the SEC East. I was gonna root for them, but now it's Bama. I will Crimson Tide it all the way.
Nobody wants Bama to win because nobody.
I do.
Now you do because Buck pissed you
I
off.
do now. You want to talk about LeBron flipping the switch? The switch has been flipped. The Crimson Tide is coming. You watch it, boys. You better watch out when you guys just started.
Buck, what did you do?
And I play you in fantasy this week. You're talking bad shit. Talk better smack. You're going to get whooped by Father Time, Thomas, Patrick, Brian, Brady, or whatever the fuck his name is. I love when Skip Bayless does that in the mornings. He gives the full name. He's like 3 times in the same segment. He gives the full Tom Brady name.
Yeah.
He did something this morning where he broke down, like he forgave all 4 of Tom's interceptions against the Cowboys, or in the first game he threw 4 interceptions, right? Yeah. In the first game he threw 4 interceptions, and he was like, "Well, I'm just gonna forgive all of them." And so then Shannon's like, "Well, Skip, if you go do that, you got to do it for Pat Mahomes. Like, that's not fair. Like, you just did it for Tom Brady. Go through and do it for Pat Mahomes." He's like, "No." It's like, what? It's absolutely ridiculous television. They need to retitle the college football playoffs to the Alabama Invitational. Yeah, Auburn would just need to show up more. They kind of suck now. So does LSU. It's really weird. SEC just bounces around, and teams are good, teams are bad. Recruiting goes one way, recruiting goes the other. But the whole transfer window is just going to open it all up.
Hey, Buck, we don't care if Ashley rip you a new one. We
don't care.
What?
I don't care.
Here, as Stephen A. once said, we don't care.
Has she taken you to a tailgate? Here's the question. Has she taken you to a tailgate, and have you tailgated in Athens? Because in worn a jersey and been in the stadium at Sanford Stadium. That's different, because then you've given time of your life to a place that I consider a cesspool, and then I can respect you for going there.
But he hasn't. I can tell you that he hasn't. So
okay, you can suck my Gamecock. And that'll do it, folks, for this episode of Real Sports. It's always been a pleasure, and I will throw it over to the master to run down the Rolodex of wonderful programming that you can find on this here YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I know soon, I don't have the date, but I know soon there is going to be a special Wrestle Reel. Chris Anthony Lopez made that announcement last night. So I'm excited to hear about that, watch that, see what's going on there, because it's been a while, and Nick's getting antsy. He misses talking about all this wrestling that's going on, especially with all these roster cuts. Then really scared. Back next Thursday, they booked this Thursday and forgot it was Thanksgiving. So it happens. Everyone forgot. So they'll be back next week. Or will they? I don't know, because next week some of us are going to be in LA, and Taylor goes to LA on Thursday. So
to be determined on another time.
Yeah. And
Tempo. Stop.
Toby and I will be back this Saturday for Saber Reels. I've been kind of screwed over by work. What's up, Lunch Break Hot Take? Of course, y'all finally got to show up after. Our friends over at Lunch Break Hot Take got to show up.
Run it back. After we're done, run it back, like the video, drop some comments. Let us know what our worst take was. That's what I want. That's what I want. Next week, in the comments, I want the worst take. And it's going to be Buck thinking the Gamecock is a stupid name. Vote for that, and if you do, I'll be your friend.
But we got that. We got a special Schmo Me the Real next week with I'm not going to be on, but we will have Buck, Jeff, Chris, and Shug on, along with our friend Allison Salamoni, who's going to be taking my spot for the night as I go celebrate my 5-year anniversary with Jennifer. And then,
Thank you.
thank you. And then Tuesday, depending on how Colin's feeling Tuesday.
Yeah, I would literally be getting back. I have a game that starts at 5, and then the other game, if the away team agrees to warm up in the practice gym or the auxiliary gym, we can only have a 30-minute break. But if they don't and they want to warm up in the regular stadium, it has to be an hour break between the games. So then it's
funky. It's funky. But yeah, so catch all that.
We can do Wednesday. How many episodes is this? Hard
Knocks. I think it's till the end of the season.
What?
I think they said it's going to go to the end of the season and playoffs if the Colts make it. But we do have some reviews up. Somehow, my Hawkeye review has like no traction, which you wouldn't expect from an MCU property. So that's weird. But go check out the Hawkeye review. Go check out my review for a movie you won't be able to see for a month, and that is Licorice Pizza, the new Paul Thomas Anderson film. I really dug this film. It is great. It's going to rub some people the wrong way, but hey. And go check out my review for the film that is House of Gucci. Let's just say I wish this was a film about Tom Dagnino. Yeah. But that's everything we got going. That's everything we got going on right now. So with that, Colin, take it away.
That'll do it, folks, for this edition of Real Sports. You stay classy, San Diego.
Oh, did you not end it, Colin?
Oh, I thought you were going to do